Hello and welcome to another episode of eScoot Talks. Now you might be looking and saying like, mate, eScoot Talks, like where is the e-scooter? Well, today's episode is going to be slightly different. Today I have here with me my e-bike that I bought roughly a year ago, and I'm going to share actually reason why I picked up this bike. I was looking for a while to get an e-bike. Just like, if I'm going somewhere for a bit longer journeys, or if I'm going, for example, on N7, because N7 is a national road, I can go with the e-bike. If I go there with the e-scooter, I'll probably become a main star on TikTok. But if I go on e-bike, maybe I'm not going to get that much of attention. But that was not the only reason. So I was looking for an e-bike that, is going to should be comfortable to ride, and I should be able to store it in a small space and take out the battery. But if I need to park it somewhere, that it's not too obvious that it's an e-bike. And that's all that I actually got with this bike. So it's the SameBike M9. The battery is actually here in the frame. Bike is, of course, foldable. As you can see here, it has a safety latch. I'm not going to fold it now because it is a little bit squeaky. It needs some oil, it needs some maintenance. And when you fold it, you can take out the battery. Ignition for the battery is located here underneath. I like it and I don't like it at the same time. It has front and rear shifter like any normal pedal bike. So if the battery dies, I can just, ride it like any other normal bike. Front suspension, pretty nice. And rear suspension. We're gonna test those out, but they should work well. And in combination with the big wheels, that should be comfortable enough, right? But just in case, I changed also seat. Put a bit of a bigger seat just to make sure that the ride is pretty comfortable. Front suspension can also be locked in. I don't think I'll be using that ever at all. It has a headlight, but it doesn't have a tail light, so that's a bit of a downside. It has a rear mudguard that can actually even be extended. It had a front mudguard, but it doesn't have it anymore. Rear hub motor, what I actually preferred, because the front hub motor, because the majority of the weight is on a rear wheel, front hub motor can skid sometimes, okay, where with rear hub motor, that's not going to happen, especially with the lower power motors. And front and rear disc brakes, mechanical, but they can be upgraded to X-Tech. So basically in around €1,000 price tag, I got everything I wanted in a bike, because these are selling around €1,000, 1,200. It's a decent price, to be honest, and it looks like a decent bike. Now the only question is how well it's going to serve me and what's the quality on it. And that's why I actually like second-hand bikes, because in second-hand bikes you can already see if something starts kind of falling apart or whatever. 48-volt battery, 10 amp hour capacity. I don't know, I'm thinking like, what should I expect? Navi S65 has 48 volt, 12 point something amp hours, and we would get something around 35 kilometers. So this should actually get maybe even more range, because you can pedal. But my range test is going to be actually, I'll pretend that I'm pedaling, or I just use a throttle. So I'm not going to be pedaling at all, just to see how much range we can get on pure throttle without any assistance to the bike. So we have 1,261 kilometers so far on the clock. And yeah, let's see what we're gonna get out of it. So I'll be going only full throttle. I won't be pedaling at all. We're gonna be in a gear 5, so we have maximum 5 gears. And I don't know, you can put in the comments down below, what do you think, what range I'm gonna get. I'm gonna estimate probably roughly 30 kilometers, So yeah, let's let's hit the road and hope for the best. And let's hit the grass as well a little bit. There, so let's see what speed we're gonna get. Only 15 kilometers. What if I start pedaling? Okay, so on a throttle only, it goes only up to 15 kilometers for some reason. But if I start pedaling, so basically if I'm pretending that I'm cycling, it's actually doing better. So 25, okay, that's not bad at all. Then okay, so we are getting 32, almost 33 kilometers per hour, and as I said, I'm just pretending to pedal. Like you see that I'm actually in a really low gear. Actually, I'm not. I just realized now that I'm actually not. There. Okay. So, yeah, just pretending that I'm pedaling, and we are getting 32. We were getting almost 33 kilometers per hour, not using throttle, because with the throttle, for some reason, it's actually quite slower. So yeah, there, 33 kilometers per hour. This is really nice. This is honestly really nice, but with this speed, I'm not sure. We might actually get only 20 kilometer range. Since these videos are pretty boring, I hope. I hope that the range is gonna be short as possible for a video, but listen, with e-bike you shouldn't have any range anxiety anyways, you know. If the battery dies, you can just pedal home. You don't need to push a bike. Now what I'm trying is actually on purpose, I stopped pedaling and I'm holding just the throttle to see where the speed on throttle only is gonna drop down. And wow, it is dropping down quite. Okay, now throttle kicked in. Okay, so throttle only is 20 kilometers per hour. Okay, but we wanna drain the battery, so back to fake pedaling, where the bike is actually going faster, and let's kill this battery. Well, not actually kill, let's just drain it. Okay. I'd like this bike to work for quite a while, you know. Regarding riding, okay, this suspension is actually working pretty nice. I'll be completely honest, guys. Okay, now we're gonna go over this bus stop at the maximum possible speed. Yeah, wow, yeah, that was nice. Okay, so we did one lap so far, a little bit over 6 kilometers. My expectations are kind of actually dropping down a little bit, and I'm gonna say maybe 15 to 20 kilometers on a single charge. We'll see. Okay guys, so we did 3 laps. Of course, I had a problem, had to stop, made a mistake to actually switch off a bike, so the trip did get resetted. We are at 44 volts, and We are at 1,279 kilometers. Trip is now almost 9 kilometers. Before I shut down the bike accidentally, it was a little bit over 9. So we are at around 18 kilometers so far, and we are down to 22%. I hope I'll be able to do one more lap before battery dies. And if I do manage to do that, then that's gonna be something around 24 kilometers with a single charge. That I have to admit, if that's the case, I'm happy. Our average speed was around 30 kilometers. So in this direction, we are getting between 28 to 30 kilometers. When we are going back, we are getting between 30 and 33. So yeah, 27 to 30 and 30 to 33 kilometers. So yeah, I think that's probably quite satisfying. But yeah, just 3/4, a little bit over 3/4 of a lap, and we'll see where we are. If you want to pull out your guesses, you can leave them, of course, in a comment down below. Okay, so we did manage to get, now we're definitely over 20 kilometers in a single charge. We're down to 18% battery left. We have 43.5 volts and 1,282 kilometers. If I manage to get to that roundabout and stay over 10%, then actually might get lucky and do more than a lap. So then we might be over 25 kilometers on a single charge. But so far things actually look pretty well. Yeah, we are reaching a roundabout and we are at 20. We were at 20% because I needed to slow down. Usually do those roundabouts is at the max speed I can. Now, of course, when I stop pedaling, the battery bar goes up. But as soon as I start pedaling again, as you can see, battery drops down. So we are at 15%. I really wonder what we're gonna see when we get to the end of this lap. So this is lap number 4. So when I finish it, should be at around 24-25 kilometers. Pretty nice, to be honest. There, guys. I didn't manage to finish this 4th lap just before this roundabout. The battery actually cut out. Now I'm gonna pull aside and see. Okay, let's switch it off. Okay, let's see, can we turn it on again? Will it turn on? Okay, it will turn on. So odometer 1,283 kilometers. Battery is showing 27%. Percentage is definitely not correct then. Voltage 44.7 volts. Can we, oh okay, no. Okay, let's see when it's gonna die next. Oh yeah, I need to put it, of course, into max assistance mode. And let's pretend, oh yeah. Okay, so I'll need to calculate. I don't actually remember what was the mileage when we started. And I'll put that somewhere on the screen. But you see, this is a great thing about this bike. I have no problem pedaling it. Okay, yeah, battery died. Okay, it is what it is. So let's pedal home. So there, we finished our range test, and now it's time for me to show you, do I actually like this e-bike or not? Am I regretting spending money on it? So overall, regarding range, I was actually expecting more, but okay, I was doing throttle only, and those are bigger wheels. Bigger wheels means more resistance, so less torque, less range. Smaller wheels, of course, less resistance and more range. But still, I was expecting maybe a little bit more. But okay, listen, I'm not disappointed. With the e-bike, I have no range anxiety at all, because you know, if the battery dies, I can pedal the way I did now. I didn't in a long time, so but okay, it is what it is. So yeah, the bike actually did completely tick all the boxes. If you didn't watch my first impression video, I'm just gonna go quickly through the specs. So 48 volts, 10 amp hour battery, that's in a frame. That frame is foldable and I can take out the battery. Ignition is actually here, and I actually discovered something. I'm just not sure that I switched it off now. Hopefully it's gonna turn on. I discovered actually that I have a horn. We have a headlight. We don't have a tail light, unfortunately. I think that's the main downside, because I think that the tail light is more important on the e-bike and e-scooter than a headlight. But it is what it is. There's no perfect scooter, there's no perfect e-bike. Ride was comfortable enough. It wasn't the most comfortable ride, but I wasn't expecting anything special. It has a throttle, and that's pretty handy. If you're tired or exhausted, you can just use a throttle with all the gears, with the empty or dead battery. You can still cycle. It has a locking front suspension. I don't think I'll ever use that. Taking off the front wheel, it has a quick release, so that's handy and that's great. Front and rear disc brakes, that's actually working really well, I'll be honest. I was thinking of maybe upgrading to X-Tech semi-hydraulics, but I don't think there's any need for that. I did went through a bike to look at a little bit, so like for example, you know, cables. I actually like this. So there are cable ties, zip ties there to hold all the cables kind of nice in place. If they were going inside of the frame and you need to fix something on a bike, that can be a headache. This way they're not in a way, okay, but they're all nice here. They could maybe have that wrap around. I actually don't like them, because just repairing them or doing anything, it just takes much more time. So it has this stand. When it's folded, it can rest on that without damaging the pedals or anything else. It has reflectors, it has everything. Honestly, yeah, I'm pretty happy about it. Now, what do you think about it? Do you think it's a brilliant, perfect bike or not? Let me know in the comments down below. I personally, they're retailing for around €1,000 or 1,200 euros. I think that's pretty fair enough, because you know, mountain bikes, e-mountain bikes are usually around €1,000, so it's nothing too much expensive, not too much over that price tag, but it's working brilliant. Okay, so did you leave your comments down below? What do you think? Okay, let me show you a couple of things. I don't know how much you're going to be able to see, but I'll take a picture, and if it's not visible, I'm going to put the picture here somewhere. Do you see a rust there? Yeah, okay, so nothing's perfect. Then here we have a rust as well. Like it's a 1.5 years old, the bike, you know, we see some rust here. It's not all of them, but you know, there is a bit of a rust here and there. And one more thing, you hear this clicking? I'm not sure can the mic pick this up, but there's a play here, so there's probably problem with bearings. Bearings probably need to be replaced. Now, if I wanted, I could have easily hide all of this from you. And if I bought a brand new bike, I wouldn't be even aware of that. And that's the reason why I actually like to get old stuff, used secondhand, to see actually how quality it is, because the quality you can see over time. Does it start falling apart after 6 months or not? So of course this is 1.5 years, and like of course there needs to be done some maintenance. So bearings, I'm not going to blame a manufacturer on that, you know. Well, maintenance needs to be done. They could have maybe be a bit better quality, okay, because the bike has a 1300 kilometers on the clock. But regarding these bolts, honestly, regarding all the manufacturers, like guys, is it that expensive to upgrade to better bolts? I just don't like how much more expensive would be manufacturing price of this bike if they use better bolts. $2? Is it really worth it? Like I just can't understand. So yeah, that's going to be all for this episode. Overall, guys, I don't regret buying it. It is a little bit big for me, so I might actually be looking into something smaller and actually have already something in plan, and that's probably hopefully going to come on pretty soon. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, I hope you learned something, and I hope I earned your subscription. If you want to support me, you can of course always buy me a coffee, and I'll put a QR code here somewhere, but there is also a link in a video description. But like, you know, you can support me completely free, just a couple of seconds of your time to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment to help YouTube algorithm pick up these videos and show them to more people that might find them handy. And that's actually what's even motivating me to make more and more videos. There's nothing nicer for me than to see my subscriber count and the watch hours and all those things that are increasing. That means that I'm doing something good, and there are people who actually want to see videos like this. So yeah, that's going to be all for this episode. Till next time, guys, please stay safe out there and respect other road users. Bye bye.